Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I hope that all of you are fine and studying at home and giving a proper time to your studies. You know that last time we have gone through the structure, the basic structure of the CPU, in which we discussed about different components of the CPU. The video of the lesson is attached in your Google Classroom. You can revise from there. The notes are also attached for that topic, and these are there in your Google Classroom. Today we are going to start storage devices. Storage devices, the devices which are used to store data permanently. These are also called secondary storage. These are not primary storage, these are secondary storage devices. These include the devices which store data permanently. Even when the power of the computer is off, you can access data. When you switch on your computer system, the data will be available as it is. So these are the devices that we are going to discuss today. uh, you know that hard disk drive is the most common device that we have got in our computer systems. In case of the hard disk, you know that the disk and the drive are attached together. Why? Because you cannot detach the disk from the drive. The disk is attached inside the drive. There is a read write head which is used to read the data from it and to write data on it. There are aluminum platters inside it with the magnetic oxide coating, and you can write data on those platters. There are sectors and tracks on the hard drives platters which enables you to write data on them. There may be multiple heads and multiple platters inside one hard drive. So hard drive will always be sealed, and there won't be any sort of air inside even, so that there should not be any disturbance when the read write head is going to read the data from the platters of the hard drives. So if there is some problem inside, or say there is some kind of dust inside, so you would see that the hard drive will crash and your data will be lost. So this is very highly sensitive device, and in this device the drive and disk are attached together. You cannot detach the disk from the drive. These are available in different sizes, from from 20 to 100 gigabits to hundreds of gigabits, or in terabytes. Now come towards the CD. CD is basically the compact disc. Compact disc is also one of the most common storage media. Over here, the disc is removable. You can remove the disc from the drive. You know that drive is separate, which is attached inside the computer system, and you can insert the disc inside it. This is made up of plastic. The disc is made up of plastic, and the data is written on it in the form of bits. So there is basically a laser mechanism in hard drive. As we discussed, there is the mechanism which is basically the mechanism which is based on the electromagnetism, but over here the mechanism is basically based on laser technology, and the data is going to be read and going to be written using laser technology. The disk CDs are available normally in 700 MBs. What would be the size of the storage for the CD? It would be 700 MB, and it measures 4.7 inches. Means its width would be 4.7 inches. So these are the statistics about the compact discs. But there is also another disc which is called DVD. It also looks similar. It is also just like CD, but its capacity is changed. Its capacity is not that. Its capacity is changed, and its ROM is also changed. Its DVD ROM is also changed, and that's why the technology is changed with the difference of the speed. And you will see that DVD, or a digital versatile disk, it can store data up to 4.7 gigabytes. So it's a huge capacity that you can store in your DVD. So DVD is also basically optical storage medium. Optical storage means where the data is going to be written using light, means which is basically the laser light that you are going to use. Some drives are there, the DVD can read the CD, okay, but CD drive cannot read the DVD. That is the difference. So there are writers also available using which you can even write the data. If it is only ROM, so you can only read the data, but if the drive has the capacity to write also, so you will be able to write data. In case of CD writer, you will be able to write data on CD. In case of DVD writer, you will be able to write data on DVD. Now come towards the next storage device, which is called a memory card. Memory card, I think all of you are also aware about it. You know, these are the short definitions which come in your exam for 3 marks maximum, or the question can be constituted using MCQs as well. You know that these cards, these memory cards, are basically the solid state storage. These cards are used in cell phones, these cards are used in tablets and even in the laptops. You know that there is a card reader attached in the laptop, and even in the desktop, if you have got a separate card reader, so you can use the cards in the desktop as well. So when you insert the card, it appears as a separate drive, just like you insert one USB in your system. So these are the cards which are available in different sizes, and these are available in different capacities, means 4 GB, 16 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB, 32, 64, 128, 256 GB cards are available that you can use for the sake of storage. This is also used in the PDAs. PDAs means personal digital assistants, just like the small devices. The other storage device, which is also very commonly used device, is the USB. And you know that you people use USBs inside the homes, in the offices, where you store data inside it. And USB 2.0, USB 3.0, these are the different editions available for the USB. And you know that USB is basically the common mistake that we call when we call its name. Basically, it's USB flash drive. We normally call it USB, but it is basically the USB flash drive. Okay, so this is also available in 4 GB, 8 GB, 16, 32, 64, and so on. And you can use it even terabytes. It is available nowadays, and you can store data. You can take backup, and you can move data using USB. SanDisk, and see, you know, these are the Kingston are the famous names, famous brands of the USB which are available in market. So I hope that you will be able to write about USB if it comes in your paper. If it comes for 3 marks, you'll be able to define these storage devices. And these storage devices are also mentioned in short. So normally the definitions come or to describe that what is USB, what is the purpose of the memory card. Because when this course was developed at that time, these things were not that much common, but nowadays everyone knows about these things. So that's why these things are not that much difficult. This is a quite easy topic. Come towards the output storage output devices. What are the different output devices available today that we use? What is meant by output? First we need to understand that what is actually meant by the output. Output means when the data is coming from the computer system to the user. And output is basically when you are getting information from the computer system. You are entering data, computer is processing it and giving you the output. So when the output will come, how it will come to you? Of course, you need to have some device for it. Output may be in the form of voice, output may be in the form of image, in the form of video, in the form of paper, printed output. So what are the different devices which are available for the sake of output? You know that monitor, printer, plotters, speakers, these are the commonly used output devices. The most common is called display. Display means on which we are able to see the output, on which we are able to see the output. Visual display unit, it is also called VDU. visual display unit. So visual display unit can be in different types. You know that in cell phone, the device has got the display unit attached with it. In laptops, there are two portions of the device. One is basically the device processing mechanism and keyboard, and the display unit is also attached with it. But sometimes the display units are separate, just like in case of desktop computers. So display is a computer output surface and projecting mechanism that shows text and often graphics, images, videos, for the computer. It shows it. So normally when the computers were started, so in the beginning, the displays were there, in the form of CRT. CRT is called cathode ray tube. So when we say CRT, so you will have to remember the old television sets and the old computer systems. So basically monitors were there. Monitors means this kind of device, CRT is basically television like device. This kind of device, which is normally in large size if we compare it with the modern LCDs and LED devices. So this is basically the CRT. And if you will see inside structure, you will be able to know that there is an electron gun, in red, blue, green, which fires electron beam over the back of the screen. There are phosphorus dots on the back of the screen. There are phosphorus dots, and these dots are glown when the electron gun fires the electrons on them. Okay, so this is basically the mechanism of the CRT. But LCDs, you know that LCD is the modern technology where we have got, even now we have got LEDs of different technologies available today, and plasma displays. These are smart in nature. These are not having electron beam mechanism behind it so that its size will be large. No, their size is not that much large. These are less in size, and their weight is also less. So this is basically the advantage of the LCDs. LCD stands for light liquid crystal display. LCDs, and besides LCDs, there are light emitting diodes, LEDs as well. LEDs, which are called light emitting diodes. These are also available. This is a comparatively different technology. So what are the differences? The question can be asked in your paper to differentiate between CRT and LCD. So how we are going to differentiate between CRT and LCD? CRT will be basically the device which is called cathode ray tube. First difference is in the abbreviation. LCD stands for liquid crystal display. Then power consumption. When we were students, we used to use the CRT. So power consumption is more in CRT. Okay, but if we go towards the LCD, it consumes less power. LCD consumes less power, and CRTs consumes more power. Cost of the CRT normally is cheaper because now it is an obsolete technology. LCD is costlier than the CRT. Speed of the CRT is better, keep in mind. CRT speed is better than the LCD, but it does not mean that LCD speed is quite slow. But when we compare it with the CRT, so CRT speed is better, its response time is better. But if we are not going to say that LCD speed is quite low, no, it is also good. But if we compare it with the LCD, CRT, so it is not that much good as much the CRT speed is. Size, of course, size and weight of the CRT is larger, but LCD is, light, and its size is not that much. Image confinement, no image confinement is there in the CRT, but there is confined image in LCD. Resolution of the CRT is quite lower than the LCD because LCDs are available nowadays in higher resolutions that we can use with our computer systems. So these are the advantages. We must know at least 3 to 5 advantages and differences between the CRT and the LCDs, because these can come in our papers. So if a question comes for 3 marks, so all these students must be able to write about it. So these are the differences. Okay. Now come towards the next output device, which is basically the printer. Printer, you know that printer is the output device which gives you the hard copy output. Display is basically the device. Video, which visual display unit, is the device which gives you the soft copy output. Printer is going to give you hard copy output. Printer is an output device which prints on the paper. Normally it prints on paper, and card sheets can also be used over there to take printouts. And of course, the thing that you are watching on the screen will be printed. Now, what are the different types of the printers which are available today? So you will go and you will see that there are different types of printers available. Laser printers are there, inkjet printers are there. So what are basically the two technologies over here? So if we see over there, so you'll be able to know that basically there are two types: impact and non-impact. Impact is the older technology, non-impact is the modern technology. You must remember this. Impact is the older technology and non-impact is the modern technology. So when we say impact printers, so impact printers will have physical striking mechanism. Hammer like structure will be there in the impact printer, and these will be noisy as well. Impact printer working. So if we will go and we'll check, so you'll be able to see that there are normally either it will be having wheel with it, there will be physical striking mechanism, you know, just like typewriter. There will be physical striking mechanism, and the writing head is going to strike on the ribbon, color ribbon, and then it is going to create an impression on the paper. So these are quite slow. These are slow. Still, these are used. These are not that much obsolete. Still, these are used. But of course, the modern technologies are going to replace them very soon, and these will be removed at all. Of course, these will be removed, but now still these are available and people are using them. So they are slow, and their characteristics are that their print quality is not that much good. They normally print in one color only, just like blue or black or any dark color. So this is the quality of the impact printer. Non-impact printer, they are not noisy, they are very fast, they don't produce any noise, they are very fast, and their print quality is very good. Even they can print in color printout quite easily in multiple colors. Okay, so what are the examples of the printers? You know, in impact printers we have got daisy wheel printers, we have got the printers like the dot matrix printers. In the non-impact printer, we have got laser printers, inkjet printers, you know, and we have got thermal wax printers. These are the different printers available. Normally, one question come in your paper that differentiate between the two types of the printers, which are impact and non-impact printers. So how we are going to differentiate them? What will be the procedure to differentiate them? Always take one comparison, that on basis of what you are going to compare them. So first difference is there is basically what is inside. What is inside the components? Components are basically electromechanical print head, and there is no electromechanical device in the non-impact printer. So in impact printer, there is electromechanical print head, which is basically a striking mechanism. I will also share with you the videos, inshallah, in this lesson where you can see the working of these printer, the inside working of these printer, and you will be able to see in your Google Classroom. What is the mechanism? Printing is done by hammering of a set of metal pin on or character set. There would be character set or metal pins, just like I have shown you that these are the characters written, you know, embossed on the head, and these are going to be printed on the paper. So what is basically the mechanism? The mechanism is basically the physical striking mechanism, hammering mechanism. But in impact printers, there is no hammer mechanism. There is basically the depositing ink mechanism. Ink will be stuck over there because of the difference of the charge, and the printout will be done. Multiple copies can be created in impact printers. In impact printers, multiple copies can be created, but it is difficult. It is difficult to create multiple copies in impact printers. But in non-impact printers, it is quite easy to create multiple copies of a print. So this is basically the point which is basically common. We can create. So I think we should remove this point. I think this point is not good to differentiate. Generates characters output, generates output and photo quality images. We can print quite good quality photos in impact printers, but normally we print characters, in non in the impact printers we print characters. Impact printer output, if you will see, then you will see that it is going to print the characters in the form of dots, dots, dot, then one character will be printed. But in non-impact printers, the complete photo or complete printout will be done without any sort of dots, and there will be a crisp image. That is basically the difference. Impact printers are noisy, but non-impact printers are quite silent. Impact printers are slow, but non-impact printers are, of course, very fast. Examples, whenever the differentiate question comes at the end, the last point, you should include one extra point at the end, which is basically about example, so that if any point is not correct, so you can get at least the point for the example. At least you should get the point for that. So these are the differences: difference in the components inside, different in the mechanism, different in the output, and difference in the noise, sound, difference in the pace, or you can also call it speed, difference in the example. So these are the points that we are going to write when we are differentiating two types of printers, which are impact printers and non-impact printers. Okay, I hope these all points are clear about the impact printers and non-impact printers. Okay, so let me switch on this attendance. Let me mark it. Today it is 11. Okay. Now come towards the next point, which is plotter. Plotter, it is also a printer, but it is not a normal printer. It is a printer which is not used inside the homes and small offices. It is the printer basically which is used for commercial purpose. This is called plotter. It prints the large sheets, it prints the text or the images on large sheets. Normally those sheets that you would have seen inside the uh, malls, or on outside the shops, the hoardings, the billboards, the billboards and hoardings on roadside, you would have seen these things. So how these are printed? Of course, first the design will be made using some designing software, using some Corel Draw or Photoshop, and then you are going to print it. The hoarding or the billboard, they also attach lights with it, so that it is also visible at the evening, in the evening time, or at night. So these are called plotters. These are not used inside the homes and of small offices. These are used at commercial level. So if you need it, so you can go to them and you can ask them to print, and you will pay and you will get the printout. Normally the printout is done on plastic sheet, Bragzine sheet, which is called Panaflex. So Panaflex prints are there, Panaflex printouts are there on large sheets. So you will see some different ads inside the malls, inside the shopping centers as well. So how these are printed? These are printed using plotter. So plotter, you will see that there is flatbed plotter. Flatbed means it is basically going to print in this way, that the sheet is there, which will be stationary, and the head is going to move on it, just like you can see in this image. Head will move on it and will print it. This is called flatbed plotter. And there one plotter will be, which is basically called the drum plotter. In drum plotter, what will happen, that you will see that the print will come out, the sheet will go through the drum and will come out in this way, just like you can see over here in this image. So in this case, this is basically called the drum plotter. So both types of plotters are used, drum plotters and the flatbed plotters. Plotters, as I have explained, first the design will be made in some drawing software, just like Corel Draw, or it will be done in Photoshop or something like that, and then it is going to be printed. Maps, images, billboards, hoardings, the things like that. And what are the two types? I have already explained you that flatbed and the drum are the two types of the plotters which are used at commercial level. I will also inshallah attach one video of the working of these two in your Google Classroom so that you can go through it. But if you go to your book, you will see that there is quite short definition about the plotter. So I have also covered these two types over here. Now come towards the speaker. Speaker, you know very well, this is a soft copy output device which gives you the output for the sound. Speaker converts the electromagnetic wave into longitudinal wave, and you become able to listen the voice. Inside the computer system, data is there in digital format, but when it comes to the digital to analog converter by the sound card, it is converted to the electromagnetic wave, and then when the electromagnetic wave is coming out through the wire, so it comes towards the device which is called speaker, and the speaker is going to convert it into longitudinal wave, which is audible by our ears, and then we are able to listen them. The speakers are available, in different sizes and with different capacities. I hope that up to here all these points are clear to all of you, and there is no confusion about it. Will you please give me the feedback by thumbs up sign so that I can understand? These are the commonly used devices. We are not going to say there is anything technical that we are unable to understand. No, we are able to understand all these things. What is meant by printer, plotter, LCD, CRT, keyboard, mouse. These are the simple things. So you have to write about them in short if a question comes. Will you please give me the feedback? All these points are clear up to here? Okay, now we move towards the next point. Next point is memory. You know that computer system has got basically two types of, storage. One is basically called the primary storage, second is called secondary storage. Primary and secondary. Primary storage contains RAM and ROM, and the secondary storage contains hard drive, CD, DVD, USB, and storage cards, as we discussed today. So when we say primary memory, when we are saying primary memory, so what comes in our mind? What is meant by primary or main memory? What is meant by memory? Memory which stores data. Memory means which stores data or instructions temporarily or permanently. Now it depends whether it is storing temporarily or permanently. So either it will store temporarily or permanently. When we say secondary storage, just like hard drive, so hard drive stores it permanently. But when we are saying just like RAM, so it stores data temporarily. So it depends that what kind of memory devices. So it is a collection of storage units that store binary information in the form of the bits. In the form of bits, the data is going to be stored. And the memory is basically split into small number of components which is called cells. There are cells inside, and those cells are going to store the data. So what is basically meant by primary storage? Primary storage without which computer system is not going to work. You know, computer system is not going to work without these storages. Primary storage is also known as the computer's main memory that communicates directly with the CPU. Main memory is used to keep programs or data when the processor is active to use them. Of course, the data and the instructions that we are entering in the computer system are not going to enter directly to the CPU. They will go for the primary storage first, and then they will enter the CPU. Then it will be able to communicate with the CPU. So primary memory, there are basically two types: the RAM, random access memory, and the ROM, read only memory. RAM and the ROM. Primary memories, these two types are located on the motherboard, and I had shown you one image in your last work, and I had discussed with you the structure of the motherboard. So over here you can see at the 0.5, these are basically the RAM slots. RAM slots are available over here. Okay. Similarly, there would be some BIOS chip which will be attached on the motherboard. So BIOS chip is basically the ROM chip which is there on the motherboard. So both the primary storage devices are there on motherboard. Okay. So if we will go and we will see primary storage on motherboard, so we'll be able to see that on motherboard the primary storage is available, and we are able to see this is basically the RAM chip, how the RAM chip looks like, and we insert basically RAM chip in the RAM slots. Random access memory is one of the faster types of the memory is available, and it is directly accessible by the CPU. It is the hardware in the computer device to temporarily store data. Keep in mind, it stores data temporarily. It is not going to store data permanently, and the data is stored until the current is provided to it. You know that when you are working on some file, and if there is power failure, so that file will be removed and will not be saved. Why? Because this file was there in the RAM, and the power was switched off, and RAM cannot work without power. That's why. So this type of memory is called volatile. What is meant by volatile? RAM is called volatile. Volatile means removable. That's why we are calling it temporary storage. And this is removable. Volatile means this is removable. Until the power is provided to you, it will work. Otherwise, it is not going to work. All data stored in the computer memory can be read or accessed directly, randomly at any time. This is basically the random access. Random access means from anywhere on the chip. For example, if it is a 4 GB chip, so randomly or from any position of the chip, the data will be stored and will be accessed. So what are the characteristics? Over here we need to know about the different characteristics of random access memory. What are the different characteristics? Here are some essential characteristics of RAM, the volatile memory. RAM chips are widely used in normal operations of computer for starting and loading operating system. When we switch on our computer system, so operating system, you know, in the beginning, the computer is not switched on just like television. It takes some time, it takes some seconds. And then the operating system is going to be loaded in your memory, which is basically the RAM in the computer's memory. Much faster to read from and write. Its speed is fast, means RAM's speed is fast. We are reading this characteristics of the RAM. Data in RAM stays there until the computer is running. When you will shut it down, so that data will be lost. You need to store it in the permanent storage. RAM chip allows you to store multiple gigabits. You know that 4 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB. There are different types of capacities for the RAM are available today. So these are the characteristics of the RAM. We must know. Now, ROM is also a chip on the motherboard which stores data. ROM is also a chip on the motherboard which stores data. And ROM is called read-only memory. Read-only memory. Okay, so inshallah we will discuss about the read-only memory, but we keep it over here. I would like to tell you that in your Google Classroom, all the lessons are there and the videos are there. Those videos, video of the last lesson I think is not there. I'm going to inshallah attach it over here, but the rest of the videos and the work, all these are attached. So you can go through them and go through these all things. I'm going to upload one assignment as well, inshallah. Over here you have to do the assignment as well, so you can revise the topics that we have done from here by going through the video as well. That's why I'm providing you regularly, so that you can go through all these topics. You will go to your lesson, you can open your text work, what was the work which was done, number one, and what was the lesson which was made from the teacher. So you can go and you can open it and you can go through it, just like this is the lesson. Apps are there that people are using nowadays. Educational video games are there that you are. So this is written in very short way, but I have explained you with some different headings so that you give you the example that first you will make the design of the machine, car, vehicle, house, whatever you are. Okay, just like over here in this lesson, I have explained the CAD and CAM, use of the CAD and CAM. Fine, so you can go through these all videos quite conveniently. So these are the topics that we have done today. I am going to upload over here. Okay, thank you so much, all of you.